as a independent artist,
Mm-hmm.
and you're making, you have like a huge following on social media. So
Thanks, bro.
I think you're like 800,000 or so on Instagram. You're
Well, I'm almost to 1 million
almost
now.
to 1 million on Instagram, and it seems like across all the platforms, you're close to 3 to 4 million followers.
Okay.
How did you do that? Like that's, tell me what that. I know you do a lot of cover songs, and you sound incredible. So first of
Thanks,
all,
bro.
like when I first saw you, I'm like, man, you actually have a pure voice, skillful voice.
I appreciate that.
You know what I
I
mean?
feel like sometimes I'm not seen, but
Nah,
but
man.
the ones that get me,
Nah, man.
they get me, bro.
You're a real musician, a real singer, and you're doing
Bless.
the things. You're hitting the notes. As a person who actually understands what you're doing, it's like, man, you know what I mean? Like, you make me want to pick my guitar up and go in the share room.
That's how you
what I'm
know
saying?
it's real, bro.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by that too. I go online and someone sings and they play guitar. I'm like, woo, that was cold, and I follow them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I support that because I'm inspired by you.
Absolutely.
I watched your video and it made me go pick up my guitar literally and
Absolutely.
write a song because I'm so inspired. And I think
right.
that's beautiful, man. That's life, bro.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a part of why you've amassed such a following that you have. So what was your formula for that?
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm one of those, like, I'm not trying to hold back no information, Social media works differently for everyone,
Yeah.
I could try something and then you try the same thing that I did and it don't work for you, or vice versa.
That's right.
But my formula was literally simply just going on this. I started with Vine. I don't know if you remember Vine. And Vine, it was just like, yo, and what's funny is like I had my ego wouldn't let me do Vine in my pride because it was like 6 seconds and I was like, 6 seconds, like that, how dare you
I can't
make
get
an
this
app.
lick out in 6 seconds.
I was like, how dare you try to bottle my talent with 6 seconds? And that was verbatim like what I was saying. My sister was like, yo, you should try it. Like, people are getting signed, people are blowing up. Like, I think you're just as good, if better, than a lot of these people on here.
Yeah.
So then I remember, funny quick story, I went on The Voice and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So they didn't turn chairs for me. And I was like, I'm never...
So you were actually on the show.
Well, it's almost as it didn't exist because they didn't air my episode.
Gotcha.
But like I said, man, the God I serve be looking out,
That's right.
And so at the time that hurt. At the time I was heartbroken because I was like, dang, man, this was my time to shine, like America, and everyone's going to become fans of me and my voice. But I had no following at the time. No one really knew who I was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the right time. And I still had a lot of developing to do because I was 23 years old, man. I was a little pup.
Yeah.
And so I didn't make it on there, and then that's what gave me the kind of chip on my shoulder to be like, yo, let me go and really just try to pop off on social media since this is the new big thing. Man, so I hit the ground running, and the more I did it, just one video popped off, and then I kept feeding. It's like it's an animal it has to eat every day.
That's right.
And so I used to just crank out videos, go help my mom at work and stuff, and come home and do it over and over again to the point where I amassed millions of followers.
The crazy part is you have more traction than a lot of artists that are signed to major labels.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad that you say that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to. I feel like if I were to just go on my social media and say a lot of the things that how I feel about how these companies move and how the state of the industry is, people would not like everything that I had to say, and I'm not. I'm really big on putting my talent out there.
You're not trying to be contentious.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you just said that, bro, because it's like I believe that in myself, and I think that when I put out, because if it's a numbers game and if it's a talent game, and you find an artist that has all that and more, then you would be like, then what's the hold up? But for me, it's just like it's kind of weird because I want to be someone that encourages people to be like, yo, all you got to do is this, and then you could get a deal, you could get this and that. But right now, like my brother and I, based on just my music, we make 6 figures independently.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, man. Without any label, without any, we barely even use on marketing to market our own songs on like platforms like with ads and stuff like that. I started to do that with like YouTube and a couple other things, but it's just all organic. And
that's a blessing.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, as an indie artist, I know it can get tough. Obviously, I'm assuming that you're performing as well.
Not as much, that's something this year that is gonna be, because that, like I was saying, we've focused on the streaming.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is streaming is the least, like, is a payout on that is poo-poo caca. Like, it is abysmal. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, 0.00397 cents on Spotify.
That's right.
per stream.
Per
So,
stream,
like, a million streams is barely $4,000.
That's right.
You know, and so unless you are amassing millions and millions and millions and millions of stream, unless you get that, it's just like, and then you have to be the person that creates your stuff so that you and whoever makes it, y'all could break bread that way. Right. And so that's kind of what forced me to not only be the artist, it forced me to be the songwriter, be part of the production, be the social media strategist, the marketing specialist, and literally just if I do a show, I don't have a team of people right now that, because if I'm like, okay, I'm doing a show in Sacramento. I go through my followers and I try to find people that I know that's in the Sacramento area, and then I go make a post that I know is intentionally gonna pop off. And instead of putting the title of the cover or something, I'll be like, hey, I'm coming to your city, like DM me for tickets. Because the other thing is you have to spoon feed things to people.
That's right.
And so even though someone like you're like, yo, I'm a fan of Will. Like, if he comes to my city, I'm gonna go to that show. You would think that it would be like that. With the super talented ones, and it is like that. But it still has to. If it's a 300 to 500 capacity spot, you might be able to sell 150 tickets without having to move a muscle independently.
That's right.
But you're going to have to go and engage with these people. Hey, I'm looking forward to meeting you. This and that. And give them that personal experience so that they feel, oh, I have to be here because he's expecting me. And that right there is something that I'm still going to do until it gets to the point where I can't do it no more. And
I love your heart behind that.
Thanks, man.
I think about, well, as an independent artist, and you mentioned, the game has changed significantly. I'm an independent artist. I remember how things were in the late 90s. I remember how things were in the 2000s. I remember how things were in the 2010s up into 2000, the earlier parts of the teens.
Excuse me.
And now, each decade and sometime in between, there's been different little things that's changed in the game. That you have to adjust to the new way of doing things. So I'm listening to you, and this is good information for the audience that, you know, a lot of up-and-coming artists that are trying to do it. A lot of major labels are struggling to make it work for R&B artists. And you're finding a way to do this, and you're saying you're not even on the road that much. So you're able to have a six-figure income just from understanding the digital marketplace.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And
Can we talk? Oh, can we talk? Can we talk? R&B.
What's up, guys? If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch the full episode, click right here. If you just want to continue watching more clips, click right here.